What's up, family? So today I wanted to talk about a topic that I don't think many people like to talk about nowadays because I think everybody's just kind of living their best life and writing it off as that. But I don't know. I think that people aren't as cautious with who they lay in the bed with nowadays. Um, and I think that that's a problem that should be addressed, for everybody because it's just getting to a point where it's kind of out of hand. I mean, in school in like sex education, they teach you, oh, well, don't, have sex because you could, um, get herpes or, like crabs or blue waffle or HIV or something. And that's all well and dandy. And if you don't know what those are, feel free to Google them because, Google has some awesome images for each one of those um, that'll really scare you, you know? And I don't know, like after, you know, you have the education in school, you graduate, and I feel like the effects of it just kind of wears off, like it's no longer in the front of your mind. Like, they teach you about drugs, and it's like, hey, if you try cocaine, you could die like the same day. Yeah, that's mortifying. I wouldn't dare try a drug that could, make my heart explode. But when it comes to like, something like sex, it's just like people are willing to take those dice and roll them, time after time without really thinking that, hey, you know, if I do this, I could become a part-time parent. Nobody's really thinking about that, and I think that's a greater consequence than more more than likely just about anything because it causes side effects and symptoms that can't really be cured by medicine or slowed down. And I think that that's not really talked about. It's not really educated. So that's why I'm making this video because, I have several friends, as well as myself, we're all part-time parents and it sucks. We talk about it every now and then, but try not to because I think it's, becoming slowly but surely almost taboo because people don't want to admit that they're going through things nowadays. I guess it's shown as some form of weakness to admit that you're going through things, but in my opinion, it's human. It's one of the few things that shows that we're different than everything else on the face of the planet. Um, in good ways sometimes, but when it comes to the whole PTP, PTP, and it's pretty hard. That's an acronym you don't really need to Google. But yeah, when it comes to that, it's just kind of like, well, you don't really think about it at the time, and you don't really plan on that being a problem that you have in the future. Like you just make a decision, and it affects you for the rest of your life. It affects you, the other party, as well as the child or children for the rest of your lives. And it gets to a point where so I have this buddy. His name is Dan. He just put it in perspective instead of trying to figure it out. So Dan is I call him a shark because he and sharks have several things in common. Neither one of them sleeps, and because he's always working, so that way he can afford to pay child support for his children. And neither one of them eats for several weeks at a time. So Dan, to me, is a shark, great white shark. Dan the shark, and the guy eats like some ramen noodles every couple weeks at work, and he's always tired. He's just like a zombie. I don't know what he does to stay up, but something tells me that it's something else on the list of things that you shouldn't do to stay alive or awake. I think what he does actually contradicts his goal or purpose because it shortens his lifespan. But that's Dan. That's lifespan Dan. And I don't know. He lives a pretty miserable life. He goes to work. He works two jobs, full time and one job part time, and all of his money goes towards his children. But he doesn't I don't think he has a place to live. I think he says he has an apartment, but I see him sleep in the car every day before work. I'm pretty sure he only gets like a 10, 15-minute nap. No one tells you this. Like, no one says, hey guy, before you do this, this could be your lifestyle. I'm pretty sure if Dan had a life coach that popped into the room right before he made the decision that he made and said, hey man, hey you, I'm sure Dan would have probably been surprised the guys, popped in the room at that time. But aside from that, he probably would have stopped and he would have thought about it like, man, before I do this for this moment, I should probably think about the next few years to the rest of my life that this could affect. I don't think, no one's created an app, create an app for this. Like every time your blood pressure hits a certain point, hey, it looks like you're getting ready to do something bad. I think that could save a lot of people's lives and a lot of heartache because people do stupid stuff usually when their heart's going up. Either that or they're like crying or something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I think that'll help a lot of people out. So somebody should develop the app, the heart rate app. I don't know. Come up with a better name. But I don't know. The symptoms and side effects of becoming a part-time parent pretty bad. So you typically think making a bad decision. I usually always think about burning yourself. So that time that you grab something hot from out of the oven and you forgot to put a glove on or any kind of heat resistant wear, and you burn yourself. Or that time that you're like super hungry and you're just like, man, I want to eat this. I don't know if it's cooled off enough. Or I want to drink this, but I don't know if it's cooled off enough. So you take a whole mouthful and you actually swallow it to where it's like this part of your throat. And you make that face and you're just like, oh, it's the end of the world. I don't know what I'm going to do. And everything after that for like 2 weeks sucks because it hurts. And then like your face and stuff is trying to heal and it's sore. And it hurts to talk to people. And you don't taste anything after it. But yeah, nobody ever talks about like the side effects and symptoms of part-time parenting, but it's like that. It's just like that burn that, from grabbing something or, up in here, consuming something hot. It's like that, but it's like emotional. It's like around your heart, your stomach, your kidney, your liver, your intestines. It's like all up in there, like all the time. You'll have some breaks because like you get used to it, just like that time you sprain your ankle and you just kind of walk it out. It's like, man, it really hurts to walk, but I still have to go places. It's like that, but it's on the inside and it sucks. It's like all the time, like all the time. You never really get used to it. The kid knows it. The mom knows it. You know it. But you're the only person it affects. You're just like, So because I'm a part-time parent, I don't get to really, see my kid much or have anything to do with like, rearing my child. So when it comes to things like, I don't know, child saying something crazy, you have to stop and think like, if I say something, I could ruin our relationship. But if I don't say anything, child think I'm a punk and keep doing this over and over. So it gets to that gray area where you're just like, I don't really know what to do. So you just make a decision and, you're just like, hey, what can be worse than the heartache of not raising your own kid? I'm just going to do something. We'll go from there. Worry about it later, kid. And I don't know. I talked to several other part-time parents and we all kind of have the same feeling. So I really hope that this video can help you think twice before you decide to make a decision. I hope you watch the entire thing because it really sucks. Like, it's 10 times worse than like crabs, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, blue waffle, all this stuff. Like, this is like pain, like real pain, like Naruto, like imaginary cartoon pain is nothing to this. So hopefully this helps somebody make better decisions. And just think twice. Think more than twice. That might be the problem because people do think twice. They go, hey, this could be good or this could be bad. That's technically 2 times. But nobody just keeps thinking about it like, hey, let's go a little further down this dark hallway. So take the time to go down that dark hallway. And if you have to, talk it out, because that'll usually turn off the other person enough to where they'll just be like, I don't know what you're doing, weirdo, but I'm grabbing my things and leaving. Talk it out loud. Talk it out loud. That way they can have some input as well. Always try to get input of another person for things that are going on in your head, just to see, like, hey, am I normal? Is this normal to think? I think it helps a lot. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe to this video and me. And hopefully this helps. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Have a good day.